We're going to keep the jazz going, nice and smooth. We're going to bring the next artist up. I believe he is practicing on a real slide tip. We call that in the shed, some jazz of his own. Ladies and gentlemen, just walked in the door, Mr. Aquil Mizan.
Peace, y'all. Was good.
Peace.
This is a piece from a previous project of mine entitled Avant-Garde. John Coltrane would say, I let the music speak for itself and let the poem speak for itself. It's called By-YO-Terrorism. By-YO-Terrorism. With all due respect, Mr. Media, Mr. Government, Mr. Bush, Mr. Head of the Department of Homeland Security, to CNN, Fox newscasters, and people of your ilk, to our former slave masters and their children who desire to uphold that tradition, to the heads of the Department of Homeland Security, to whomever the shoe fits, this shoe that has been and continues to be a hemorrhoid to the black man and woman of America and other oppressed peoples at home and abroad. This shoe that constantly trips us up when we try to make a stand and make forward progress. This shoe that constantly kicks us and stomps us when we down trying to get up, to whom we may concern. You all keep bombarding us in the media with all this talk that we need to be very concerned about bioterrorism. But correct me if I'm wrong. Historically, oftentimes when we have been the victims of germ, biological, and chemical warfare, and that is called bioterrorism. It's been just that, By-YO-Terrorism. Let me spell it out for you. B-Y-Y-O. You are the real terrorists. Holler back when smallpox was put into the blankets of Indians. That was not Osama bin Laden. That was By-YO-Terrorism. When black men at the Tuskegee Institute were purposely injected with syphilis. That was not Al-Qaeda. That was By-YO-Terrorism. When I heard Tom Brokaw on the news speak about innocent soldiers in your military, who I believe was stationed in Fort Detrick, Maryland, who now suffer from cancer and all kinds of curious ailments because they were unknowingly the victims of your experimenting. That was not Saddam Hussein. That was By-YO-Terrorism. And when, according to the counterintelligence program of the FBI, and you can Google it, Malcolm, Martin, Elijah Muhammad, the Black Panther Party, Assad Shakur, the Nation of Islam, even Bob Marley and many others were wrongfully targeted, plotted against, and victimized. That was not Iran, Iraq, or North Korea. That was By-YO-Terrorism. So when it says that there needs to be a change in regime because you have in place a corrupt leader, a government, a system, and a culture that sanctions harm being done to its own people, are we talking about over there or over here? Ask the families of Amadou Diallo, Abner Louima, Sean Bell, Oscar Grant, Robin King, and others. And let me ask you this. What do you think of the notion that AIDS is a man-made disease, made for the purpose of killing people of color in Africa and the diaspora? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that we cannot fathom the depth of wickedness of Shaitan. Where did AIDS come from? I remember Brother Collins said how they tried to say how AIDS came from a green monkey. And he was like, if a green monkey was a carrier of that disease, he got it from our former slave masters and their children who desired to continue that legacy. And he said it a lot more raw than what I just did. Can you dig it? I said, you all keep bombarding us with all this talk that we need to be very concerned about bioterrorism. But historically, even today, when we've been the victims of germ, biological, and chemical warfare, and that is called bioterrorism, it's been just that, By-YO-Terrorism. And let me ask you this. Do you really think that the government is sincerely concerned about the welfare and the granting of reparations to the citizens of Afghanistan, Iraq, Egypt, Libya, and wherever else, when you and I both know that there's people who are homeless, starving, and needy right here in Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and the cities across America, and when the United States government boldly threatened to and did walk out on the World Conference Against Racism because reparations for the terror that's been inflicted upon people of color was just discussed? I'm saying to you like Jodeci, I'm in need of love and you're in need of love, but what about us? Almost every day in the media, I witness repeated attempts at the character assassination of Islam, Muslims, even people of Middle Eastern descent who do not practice or even profess their religion. But in America, our homeland, many, many, many more people have died by your terrorism. When you do the math,